Imagine being able to live solely off the dividend income generated by your portfolio without having to dip into capital or having to worry about the volatility of the stock market. This is the dividend investor's dream. But is dividend investing the best strategy for a retirement income? And also, how much income would a portfolio of $1 million generate? And how would this income grow over time? Let's check it out. So why dividends? Dividends have been one of the most resilient features of the stock market over the long term. Take a look at this graph showing the real dividends of the S&P 500 over the last 100 years. A little bit of volatility along the way, but on average, dividends have grown at over 2% above inflation over time. And given that inflation averaged around 3%, that means a growing income stream of roughly 5% annually since 1920. Yes, dividends are cut from time to time, but as you can see in this graph, dividends are a lot more resilient than the prices in serious market drawdowns, and they have generally bounced back quicker than prices as well. The S&P 500 currently yields below 2% at the moment, which doesn't sound too exciting. However, when you factor in that this income stream should grow above inflation over the long term, it's higher than the current government bond yields, and the dividend income paid out by companies is far less volatile than the fluctuating share prices of those companies. This starts to sound very appealing. So how would a $1 million portfolio have performed in terms of providing a retirement income if it was invested in an index fund? Let's test this out using portfoliovisualizer.com, which is a website that allows you to backtest portfolios over time. I compared two funds. The first is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, VTI, that holds pretty much every publicly traded company in the US, and the Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, VYM, which tracks an index of stocks that are forecasted to have above average dividends. Let's say someone had $1 million invested in these funds in 2006 and reinvested all the dividends. You can see that the income from both funds has been steadily rising over time and would now be paying around $51,000 per year in dividends for VTI and $85,000 for VYM. So surely it would make sense to just go for VYM and take the higher income. Well, it's important to factor in the total return. Taking a look at the balance for the market cap weighted index, this would be just over $4.2 million compared to just over $3.1 million for VYM. If someone was living from the income from 2006, therefore without dividends reinvested, we can see that the income would be significantly lower, around $39,000 in the current year for VTI and around $56,000 for VYM, with final balances of just over $3.1 million for VTI and just under $2 million for VYM. This is the trade-off that we all face. Invest for total return and sell down additional units to fund retirement spending, or invest for higher income without the need to sell down additional units but have lower total returns overall. A word of caution about trying to chase higher yield. There are higher yielding funds than the two I have looked at, but this would generally leave you with a smaller pot. As a rule of thumb, the higher the dividend yield, the less the capital growth. And at the end of the day, total return is the most important metric. Many experts believe it better to go with a market cap weighted index fund and add supplementary income by selling down units of the investment sometimes over time. And for me personally, a market cap weighted index fund provides the right balance between income and growth, as I don't want to be excluding any of the world's greatest businesses from my portfolio just because they don't pay dividends. I'm happy to let them reinvest the profits back into the businesses to continue to grow their future profits, which in turn increases their share price. While it's the dream to receive an income from a portfolio without having to sell any shares, in today's current market, this means you're going to have to grow a much larger portfolio pot than years gone by to create a meaningful growing income stream over time. Yes, higher yields are possible in certain funds and dividend-paying shares, but in my unqualified experience, these approaches will generally leave you with less money overall due to the lower total returns.